So a couple days ago, I came across this post right here. Now, as you can see, they already messed up the title just by not putting the PC as the title. Like something like this would be ideal. So I saw that post and I was like, maybe I could throw him an offer of like $450, I think it was, at least the first one. And so I sent him that offer. He counter-offered. He was like, no, bro, it has to be like $650. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll think about it. And then he was like, if you're not interested in the chair and the desk, I could do $600. And that's when I kind of was like, okay, there's something to this deal. And then I continued, and I was like, if you'd be willing to do $500 for everything without the desk, and or I think it was $600. Yeah, we agreed on $600, and I was like, all right, cool, let me go check it out. And so we agreed upon the next day. I went to go check it out late at night, I think it was, in the evening. And then I went to go check it out, and then it was in the apartments. So I went through the process trying to find him. And then once I found him, I went in his apartment, asked him to test everything out. And of course he said yes. But I noticed an issue right away. So I bring a USB with me everywhere. I don't have them on me, but I have them attached to my keys. Now on these keys and that USB drive, I have like a lot of programs basically to test them out. And then the first thing I do with any computer or anything I test is I test out I open the little program to test temperatures. And so I opened it up. I believe it was hardware info 64. So I opened it up, and then off rip, the CPU was marking a crazy amount. Like it was marking like 95 degrees on idle, like absolutely doing nothing. And I could tell something was up because as I was moving the cursor and scrolling through windows, like it was just like lagging. And as soon as I opened it up, it kind of confirmed my suspicions. So I told him, I'm like, hey bro, like there's something wrong with your build. Like it's running really high and I simply wouldn't be able to offer that price. He was like, oh, okay, what would your best offer be? And I'll be like 500 as it is, because I don't know what's wrong with it. It could be something simple as a thermal paste. And then he was like, no, I'm good. And then, so I was like, okay, all right, can I head out? And then he was like, cool. I went out to my car, sat there, looked for deals to see if there's anything nearby. You know, this is something you need to do if you're purchasing, right? Don't leave right away. Sit in your car nearby, because at some point in time I kind of just dragged on the sentence, but sometimes they change their mind about like the price. So I stayed there looking for deals, seeing if there's anything nearby. And so lo and behold, he contacts me about 10 minutes later. He was like, hey bro, I just cleaned it up. I cleaned the dust. It was the filter on the top. It should work now. It should work good now. So I was like, okay, let me go check it out. And then I was telling him that it probably wasn't the issue, because a little bit of dust won't change the idle for like 40, 50, 60 degrees. So we checked it again, and lo and behold, it was still at the 95 degree level. And the little program marks it red, so it was easy to find. And so I went through that process, and then he finally agreed at, I think it was 500 for it all, because we tried to negotiate there. And at first my offer, I think, was 450. I might have the numbers all over the place, but off what I remember, I believe we agreed at 500 was the price range for everything except the desk, except the chair that he had, which was nothing special, honestly. I looked into it, and I believe his chair was like called like Best Office something. That was the brand. And then I looked it up just to make sure it wasn't like one of those crazy good chairs, and it wasn't. So I was like, cool. So I took it from him, and I have it right now in my garage. So lo and behold, this is a computer I actually purchased. Now, as you can see, it's a pretty good case. I think this is like a Lian Li case. And I apologize if you guys can't see too closely up here. I'll get some close-up shots. But I need to get a wide-angle camera lens for my camera. But for now, this is what we'll have to do with. But well, as you guys see, it is very dusty. But I'll go over the specs again, because I do think it's pretty good value for what I paid, right? Because it has a 12700K. It has an RTX 3070 Ti, and this is a pretty nice card. It's like It says on here Supreme, and it's like an MSI card. So I'll put some I guess photos that I find online about it, so you guys get reference and all that. And it has this, I think this is Arctic liquid freezer, the second one, I think. So these are pretty good coolers, which is why when I checked it out, I made sure that it was like pumping, or I felt some pressure coming through the pipes, and it did. So at that point, I'm pretty sure it's probably the thermal paste, but I'm really hoping that it's not the CPU, because otherwise I'm pretty much cooked. Or even worse, the motherboard, which would be a pain to work with too. But like I said, the case looks pretty nice. It is a pretty heavy case, just because, I'll show you guys over here too. Over here, there's also glass. There's not like a plastic side panel, it's like glass, so that just makes it even heavier. And then I'm looking at the storage back here. It's just the first time I saw it, but it does have in like 2 terabytes worth of SSDs and 2 terabyte hard drive, I believe. So it's pretty good on storage. And oh my goodness, I'm just noticing that the screen is kind of fucked up. Oh my goodness, the monitor's kind of fucked up. Well, yeah, hopefully it still works. But the monitor, like I said, is a 1080p. It is an AOC. I'll try to show you guys right here. There's an AOC in the bubbles right here. And then as far as peripherals go, I kind of have it all in a mess right here, but this will give you an idea. So it has this Corsair headset, which he told me was expensive, but now that I'm touching it, it feels pretty cheap. This is a SteelSeries keyboard. I'm pretty sure this one's pretty good. And then the G502, this is a great mouse. It's just older now, and it has always been pretty heavy. And that's pretty much about it. I'll show some B-roll of me like cleaning out the computer. So yeah, we're pretty much done with the build now. As you can see, or I previously mentioned that I was gonna take out the card, and that is exactly what I never told you guys I was gonna take out the card. I was just thinking about it in my head, right? And then I thought it would make my job just a little bit easier if I take it off, and then, cause I'm gonna be investigating that thermal paste right away, so we're gonna dive right into it, and hopefully, like I said, it's not the CPU, but we'll see. So right here, we have the actual final build. Now I won't be going into too much B-roll because I just want to show you guys the situation it has with the CPU overheating. So that's what I'm going to show you on this little monitor, and don't worry, I'll show you guys the final product in the end. There you go. Oh, I do kind of hear bubbling, so I guess that in a way shows that the AIO works in a way, I guess. But then again, I also did transport the PC. I moved it around, so it might bubble for a little bit, but we'll see. Yeah, it's bubbling hard, I'm not gonna lie. I'll skip this part. I'm gonna hide his name. I don't want to leak his name or anything. But I'm gonna reset this PC completely, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I'll be back. So here's what I am encountering right now. So I was going into BIOS to reset to install Windows, right? But then I checked temperatures, and now we're actually cooling at like 38 degrees, which is way better. But then I noticed, and you guys will be able to hear it, but try to tune in to this. I'm not sure if you guys hear that, but it sounds like it's like bubbling, and it sounds terrible. So I'm guessing it has something to do with the cooler. Now I just finished watching like a tutorial, and they said something about shaking it.
hold the pump in your right hand and the radiator in your left, and you shake it. All the air bubbles trapped in the pump should flow through the tubing back into the radiator where they belong.
So that's what I'm gonna try. But worst case scenario, I think I have an exact copy of this, except it's the 240 millimeters, so I'll just install that one. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to shake this up. So yeah. So it's just been getting worse, if I'm being completely honest, and now literally. So what I did was the video told me to like shake the pump, and so I was being a bit lazy, so I tried to just shake the computer like this, and then rotating it a couple times. And now it's even worse, and it sounds like this. So now at this point, I think I'm gonna call it quits, and I'm gonna probably install the other cooler I have. And yeah, I'll get to it right now. So here's the move, right? So I pretty much disassembled the whole thing. I'm sorry it's a bit dim. Let me try to turn this up a little bit. So I pretty much disassembled the whole build. And then I was hoping, because I have the old one, right? And I did mention it's 240, but it's a bummer because that 240 millimeter is actually the non-RGB variant. So it would look something like this. So in that case, I had an option of either mounting it over here with non-RGB, right? Because I'm gonna have to probably mount these, or I had the option of running it to the top and keeping the top black, which is something I usually do so it doesn't dim the light down here, and then choose whatever 3 fans I would like to put right here. And so that's what I ended up choosing, and that's what I'm just about to do. So in this clip, I'm simply showing you guys what I also installed in the build. Now this is clearly just a thermal bracket. There's not too much to it. And then right here is the next process of the build. Now right here, I was testing it out on the top portion of the case, and after closely inspecting it, you'll see that I didn't like it like right away. Like I started sighing and all this shit right here. But yeah, I simply did not like it, and then I had to change to a different route. So that's what I ended up doing. So I had to show a quick clip of the cable management. Now this was after I installed the AIO to the front portion of the case, along with the change in the fans. So some quick B-roll doesn't hurt, you know. And then surprisingly, this part actually takes quite a bit of time. This is sped up, I don't know by how much percent, but it's definitely a big part of PC building in a way. So that's just a quick heads up. So in the previous clips, you guys saw me mess around with the AIO. Now, originally I had planned to put it at the top, but then you clearly saw my reaction to that, and I didn't really like it because it looks like a big brick. Or I'm used to like putting like 2 fans at the top, but as soon as it's an AIO, it's like way too thick, and I didn't take that into consideration, so that wasted a ton of time. But then I tried the front, and I thought that I could put the 2 RGB fans, and then since the ones in the back side of the PC had the long cables, I thought I could install those, put those 2 fans, but then I installed that, and then it looked weird because it was 2 fans instead of 3. So then I was in a dilemma, and I was like, all right, let's just go with the all black, and that way we have 3 fans, because in my little storage I had like 5 of the Arctic P12 Max, so I just went with all 5 of those, put it in the front with the 240 millimeter in the front, and then lo and behold, we had a computer that didn't look as awkward, and it was now blacked out. So all the fans that were RGB were completely removed. Now, obviously, this could have been avoided if I just like ordered 1 fan, but those Arctic P12 Max cost like $15 for like a single one. And then along with that, I had to wait for like this and that, and then it was holidays, so preferably it would be before then. So there's no way it was gonna come in time or it was even worth it. So I was like, let's just go ahead and put it blacked out, and that's how we ended up doing a blacked out theme, and I'll show you guys right now. So this is the finished product. Now as you can see, I added these pillars right here. This is just for the GPU sag. Of course, these are the PSU extensions. They are the Asian horse ones. So Let me see if I can get a focus on it. See the little horse right there. And then, as you can see, it now has a P12 Max. It has 1, 2, 3. And I think it looks 10 times better in my opinion. This is something I like. I like a lot less RGB. This is just my preference. This is what I usually sell. But yeah, I mean, this looks way better than what I had before, and it's hard to see it now. But prior to installing these, as I was saying, I had the 2 RGB fans, and then these little holes make it look so hideous. It's better to have like glass and maybe like some holes on the side, in my opinion. So I think they kind of messed up on that, even though it's great airflow, I'm pretty sure. And on top of that, I ran some tests. Now this was yesterday, prior to swapping out the fans, but it's gonna be the same result. I mean, they're the same fans, right? And so Cinebench looked great on the PC. Everything went cool. And I mean, just look at that, bro. I personally think I did a great job on it. So obviously that is my opinion, and opinions are gonna vary just in their nature. So I'm curious to see what you guys thought about the build. Is this something that you would personally put in your setup, or something that you would go for? Now regardless, I'm gonna make a montage for this computer right here. Now this montage is likely going to go on my Instagram page, and this little edits like this are things that I put into my Instagram page so people know about my brand, my builds. And it really helps in my opinion, or from what I understand. But enjoy the montage, and thanks again for watching the video. It means a lot. If you could, it would also mean the world if you subscribe. I know you see the small amount, it's like 7 subs, and your support and viewership really helps, as this following year, 2025, I'm gonna dial in on content a bit more, as I think in the future it will provide me with more money. That's just me being honest. So then again, thanks again, and hope you found the video somewhat entertaining. Have a great day.